Good morning, everyone. I am so glad to see you. It's a Friday morning, and I would like to say a special hello to my mom, who watches my videos every day when the email comes out. And she mentioned to me, we talk every night, and she mentioned to me, I was talking about how hot it was on Tuesday, and she said, "And Brenda, you were sitting there with a jacket on." And she goes, "I don't know if anyone else noticed, but how can you be saying how hot it is? You're wearing a jacket. Take your jacket off." And of course, the air conditioner blows at random points, and so I get cold, so I wear a jacket. But she's like, "It just doesn't make sense." So today, Mom, you'll see I am short sleeves and no jacket, and I hope that makes more sense. It is another hot day here in the Boston area, and my air conditioner thankfully has not kicked in yet. I'm very happy about that. But sometimes, I wear jackets in the winter. I wear jackets in the summer. I'm just generally I feel the cold a lot more than other people do. But good morning, everyone. I'm so glad you're here this morning. I will chat with you all afterwards because once I get chatting, I know no end to that. So I'd like to keep that to the end. So let's talk about today's project. And today's project revolves around, these are called the mini pocket envelope dies. And we're going to be using this die in two ways. We're going to be using it probably in the way it was intended, and then we're also going to be altering it a bit so we can add a thicker treat to the pocket that it creates. So first of all, this is the probably the original. I mean, I'm sure you can use it for card making as well, but whenever I see something, I always think of 3D, right? So this is just a cute little way to hold a treat. I think this is going to be very good for Halloween. I've kind of decorated it up in kind of a summer style. So this one will hold like a little Hershey's bar. This is about a 12 gram, 4.5 ounce Hershey's milk chocolate bar. It's a small bar. This length here is probably, I'm gonna say it is about 3.5 inches ish from top to bottom. So it's not very big, and I think the width on it is 2 3/8, so it's not super huge. But isn't that cute? This is from the Happier Than Happy bundle. So it's a cute little bundle. I think it's a great summer bundle. And then I wanted to make something to hold. This is have you seen these? Russell Stover makes these s'more treats. Here they're easy to find in the grocery store here in the Boston area. If you can't find these treats and you want to get some, I left the link down below to the Russell Stover store. I think you can buy them in a bulk package of 18. So if you had like to make these for a little event, I think this would be cool, because sometimes you can't always have a fire. You can't always roast marshmallows. So this is kind of like your little alternative treat, and it's great for summer. And I use the bear. I'm thinking of outdoors. I'm thinking of campfires, and so this is just a cute little treat box. And I decorated the sides with that matching paper. And that die set has a little die that can create that little bow up top here. So I've combined the Happier Than Happy bundle with the mini pocket envelope dies to create both of these. So kind of cute, huh? So I'll show you how to make them. And the cool thing about this design, if you had this width right here is 1 1/8. Say you had a tree that was maybe 1/2 inch deep or 1 inch deep, or maybe even a little wider. It's very easy to alter this width, and I'm going to show you how to do that when we're making this box. All right, I'm glad that so many of you are here. I'm going to switch over to my other camera, make sure I have everything popped in. All right, here we go. Let's switch over here. And let me just quickly tell you, and I already showed you these are the mini pocket envelope dies. This is the little piece that also makes the bow. If you've ever made my Hershey's shoe tutorial, we used to have, I think, a bow punch or something like that. This one will work really well on the shoe if you're making the Hershey's shoe. So I just wanted to point that out, that we have another way to make the little bow now. And this is the Happier Than Happy bundle. It's so cute. One of the things I really love about this set is, you know, if you don't like coloring, then this is a great set, because look, this bear looks like he was stamped and colored, and I did not color him because he's got that already built into the stamp. So I don't have to do any coloring at all. So that's kind of brilliant. And the same thing for the owl and the little stump. Everything's already in there. So it looks like I spent a lot of time coloring and shading, but no, I did not. So this is a nice quick way to get everything done. Okay, so just a reminder, when you buy the stamp set and the die together as a bundle, you can save 10% over buying them separately. Okay, I always put both of the items in my, I put the bundle and then I put them separately in my supply list, but I just want to point out, you know, if you're going to do it, make sure you get the bundle if you're going to get both of them. All right, let's start off with the, with cutting the bases. So one of the cool things about this die is that it just takes a quarter sheet of cardstock. So this piece is 5.5 by 4.25 when I go and cut it, run it through the die machine. So I'm gonna make the small box and the large box. So we're going to need 2 pieces. And this is old olive cardstock. I'm bringing in my big die cutting machine today because this die will not run through my mini boss. You need the bigger machine for it. Okay, so we'll start off with our base platform number 1, our thin die adapter number 2, our cutting plate number 3. We'll need the quarter sheet of cardstock. Just make sure you get it on there. It's a tight fit, but it's really nice to, you know, be able to make it out of a quarter sheet. So just be careful that those edges are on there, and then we can run this through. Oh, and one thing that you should probably do that I didn't do, you can hear it made a big clunk. We'll do it on the second one. Is when you're running this through, if you put this on a bit of an angle, it makes it easier to run through the machine. So there's the first one, okay, already die cut. And so think about this for Halloween treats. I think this is going to be really a great way if you have like a thin little thing. So this time I'm going to run it through so those lines, those long lines are coming at the machine on an angle, because there's a roller right here. And it's easier coming in on an angle than coming in like on a line like that. Okay, so that's where we're gonna just tilt it a little bit, and hopefully this time you're gonna hear it doesn't make that big clunk, and also my rolling is a lot smoother. Okay, so just make sure you angle it a little bit. All right. We're going to have to do some other die cutting, but we'll save that to the end. I just want to show you how to make the boxes first. Okay, so this little guy right here, if we're going to make this one right here, the one thing I would recommend doing before you assemble this is to do some stamping down here. You can see I've just made a little bit of ground. So let's just grab some ink real quick. There's this little stamp right here. It's looks like grass. So we know that this shorter part is going to be down here. So just going to add just a little bit here, and you can add, you know, a little bit more up top here. I did a little bit there. So you can play around by adding just a little bit of that here and there. It just adds a little bit of background. to your piece. Okay, so now that we've done that stamping, we'll just fold along the score line. And these are 2 narrow ones. And okay. All right, so we're just going to come in here with some Tombow and try not to get like too much Tombow on here. This is a very light stream that I have right here, because if you do press down too hard, I'm just going to take a little scrap piece of paper. If you press down too hard, it's going to squish out. So let's just flip this over here. And we're going to press down with our bone folder to create that little pocket. So really that's all there is to this little pocket. It's kind of brilliant, right? Okay, we're going to decorate this up in a moment. I want to show you how to make the other box first. Okay, so we've got this piece and we're going to have to cut it apart. So you'll just take your trimmer and we're going to cut along the score lines, because I want this piece and this piece, but I don't need the tabs of the piece. So basically I'm just going to line this up. I'm going to line up this line. Actually, this is a rounded edge, so turn your piece so you have a flat edge. That way you're going to make sure you're square on there. And I can just see a tiny bit of the groove right here, and I can see the groove right here. So I'm just going to come along and cut. Okay, this piece should be good right away. I don't need to alter this anymore. But this piece, we're going to cut off just the bottom of it. This is the bottom tab, because we don't need that. We're going to make other tabs on here. And then we're going to cut this off. And I want to make sure that this length or this width right here is 2 3/8. So I'm just lining it up on the 2 3/8, and that will, oh, I shoved it. I'm going to come from the bottom because this is kind of a weird angle. It'll be easier. Okay, so now this is 2 3/8, and then I know this width is 2 3/8 as well. So those two will line up. And those are just the extra tabs. I'm going to just throw those out. Okay, so now we need to build the sides of this box. So this is the Russell Stover S'more Treat, and I measured it, and this measurement is 1 1/8 inches, okay? So I like to have 3/8 of an inch tabs. So basically what I did was I took 3/8 plus 3/8, because I have a tab here and a tab here. So 3/8 plus 3/8 is 3/4 of an inch. And then I added this depth right here, which is 1 1/8. And so it's 3/4 of an inch plus 1 1/8. That gives you the width of this piece, which is 1 7/8. So for instance, say my piece, what I wanted my treat right here was 1 1/4 inches. Okay, so since I'm doing 3/8 inch tabs, you double that. Still, it's 3/4 of an inch plus 1 1/4 inch depth this time. Then your width here is going to be 2 inches. Okay, so you can just alter this width, and then we're going to score at the 3/8 inch on both sides, and that way that middle width will always get either wider or smaller. All right, I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so then the length of this will always stay the same. Even if you have a wider thing, the length is going to be from here to here to here. So this length will stay the same. And this length right here is 8 3/8 of an inch. Okay. Also a really good measurement for a good usage out of 8.5 by 11. Actually, I want my Simply Scored. I love my Simply Scored. Okay, let's bring this in for a second. So my piece measures 8 3/8 by 1 7/8. I'm going to score at the 3/8 inch mark, and then at the 5 3/8 inch mark. And then I'm going to turn to the short side and score at the 3/8 inch mark, turn it to the other short side and score at the 3. Oops, I made a little mess here because I wasn't concentrating, but that's okay because my mess went in this way, so it actually didn't mar anything. Oh, and the other thing is, if you do a little weird thing like that, on this piece, I'm covering up these side panels with paper. So even if I had messed it up, it would be covered up with paper. And I want to point out too, I chose the same color cardstock for my sides as I did for my base. I thought I'd be cute and do white. But what happens, and this one was the first one I made, and you can see I have these nice white panels, and I use basic white, but then at the top you can see the seams where they come together, which isn't quite as nice as not seeing the seams. See, you can see they're old olive right there, and these ones are white, so that doesn't look quite as nice. So I redid the box in the same color cardstock as my front and back. Okay, so now we want to prep this piece, and I'm going to use some of this paper. This bundle has matching paper. It's called Happy Forest Friends. There's the item number down here at the bottom, but it's also on my supply list, which you can see right in the description of this video, or if you click on over to my blog, you can find all my supplies there too. Here it is. It's beautiful paper. This one's very scenic. You could make a card just out of the scenes on this paper. You get 2 sheets of each, and just really great patterns. Some neutral patterns, some photo patterns like this one right here with the little bears. They're a little smaller than the stamp bears. So just a really great set of paper to go with that bundle. So I cut 2 pieces, and these measure 1 1/8 by 3 inches. So 2 pieces of the same. And just keep in mind, this is going to be the bottom. So if your pattern has an up down, so I have this little snail, you should be facing that way, and the same little snail on the opposite side. And I'm just going to come in and I'm going to glue these pieces on, because if I don't glue them on right now, I'm going to forget to add them. So I'll just glue them right between the score lines, like that. And like that. And so the bottoms are facing down right here, and the snails should be upright. I debated whether or not to make this whole strip out of designer series paper, but then I realized if I had an up-down paper, then part of the paper would be upside down, and I didn't really like that. Okay, so now we're going to cut little V's at the score intersections. So right here, there's a score intersection right here. So you see? Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you. I will have a project sheet for this project. Did I have it ready this morning? No, I did not. I had a busy day yesterday, and I didn't get my project sheet done in time. Ugh, there's a little triangle. So I will have a project sheet, and then you'll be able to see the measurements and everything on my project sheet. Okay, so now we are ready to fold. And where did my bone folder go? Here it is. So fold and fold, and then just do these real quick, and then we'll go over top with the bone folder. So let's do this, and we'll do this on the other side. Okay. All right. So now for this, the best way, I'm just gonna take this middle tab and we're gonna add this piece. This is the longer piece. You can do either one of these first. This bigger piece is going to be attached to one side and the smaller piece will be attached to the other side. The only thing you need to make sure is that the little scallop edge, that's what's going to face out. And then this one will come on here. Oh, you know what I should have done on this piece? Before I do that, that glue will just sit there for a second. See how I have some ground down here at the bottom? Let's go ahead and add some ground, just like I did with the other one. Let's do that real quick before I glue my piece down. Do any stamping you want. Most of my stamping this time is die cutting. So, you know, there. It's so cool, like it just makes the perfect ground. You just kind of layer all the pieces together and it just adds some ground to your project. Okay, bring this back in. Okay, so now I have to keep in mind, okay, this is of course gonna face front. I'm not gonna stick this into the glue. So this one's gonna come out here on the outside of the box. Just press that down right there. Okay, so now we just need to put our box together. So I'll do these back pieces first. I'm going to take some Tombow, put them on those tabs. And we'll bring in one side, push that back a little bit so you can see it. So I'm just doing one seam at a time, and then I'll bring in the other one. Press down, and then we'll do right here, shoop, shoop. And we'll take this, and now I'm going to switch this so it is facing down, and then I'm going to put my hand in here, and you can't really see what I'm doing. I'm kind of tilting my head, and I'm just kind of pressing down on the seam while this is down. It's easier to work on when it's down, and I'm just sticking my hand in there, and then I'll do the other side and press down and that seam. If it's hard to get in there, use the flat rounded side of your bone folder and then just press down on that seam. Okay, and then bring that together, and there is your little base of the box. So now we've got two little things, and we just need to do the decoration part. Okay, so we'll set these aside for a moment, and let's go ahead and we're gonna do some stamping, and then we're gonna do some die cutting. All right, I'm gonna get a bunch of pieces together. This piece we're gonna stamp afterwards. This piece we're going to stamp that big bear. And I'm not using too many colors of ink this time. I'm just using Old Olive and Soft Suede. What I'm doing is I am changing the cardstock color. So I'll put my bear face up. He is on, this is, can't see, this is an E block. He kind of needs an E block because he's a big stamp. So I'm just tapping on here, and then I'm going to stamp onto, yeah, I need to do it this way, crumb cake cardstock. And with this big stamp, you want to hold it for a few seconds and maybe stand up and just give it a little good press. This is a big stamp, it's a rubber stamp. There we go. Oh, he looks so good. Okay, and then this little owl, I'm gonna do ink, tap, 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 don't smush down too hard. Let's put that little owl over here. Oh, look how awesome that is. Look, I just stamped and colored all at the same time. Okay, and then this one we're gonna use same soft suede. This is the trunk stamp, and this time I'm stamping soft suede ink onto soft suede cardstock. Lift. See, doesn't that look cool? Okay, what else do we need to stamp? I think we've got everything, and other things we're going to just die cut. We don't need to stamp them first. Okay, so let me put my inky stamps to the side so I don't stick my fingers in them. And we could use the mini boss, but since I have the big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine out, we're gonna just use it. We needed it for the die anyway, for the pocket die, so you have to have this machine. So we're going to come in with these dies here, and I've got a piece of this Post-it labeling and cover up tape, and I'm just going to take a moment and center this die on here and make sure it looks centered. So I debated whether or not to stamp these on white, but I didn't want to have a white edge around my stamped image, so that's why. So I'm just going to scoot this on here. Turn, turn, turn. Okay. Okay, pop you there. And we'll just do these two first. Run you through. Okay. I could have done the tree trunk too, but let me get these two images. Look how nice that is. And let's get the little owl. Carefully peel that tape off so it doesn't ruin my image. And he's so cute. So cute. All right. And then scoot this back over this way. And now we're going to need this little tree trunk. I'm going to flip this plate around. Okay. Little tree trunk. Okay, that looks good. Stick that tape on there. And then we also need to cut a tree. So let's go ahead and grab that tree, and I think we'll do it like this. What else do I need to cut? I need to cut this tag right here, and this tag is in this die set here, so that's kind of nice. And then I also want to grab on this die set, we have this nice oval label, so I'll grab that. And then I think I've got everything that I need if I don't mess this up. Let's pop this on here and let's run all of these pieces through. Okay. Okay, let's go. Okay, we've got a tree. We've got a little trunk. Come here, tree. And we've got two tags. Oh, I forgot one thing that I want to run through. I need a bow. So I'm going to actually use the paper. And I'm using this from the mini pocket envelope dies here. And so I'm just going to position this on here, and I'm going to make a little bow from the paper so it matches. And we'll run that through. If you position this carefully, you can get 2 out of, I had that length, that width, which was 1 1/8, and I had cut a big 12-inch strip of it, and so I used 6 inches of it for the sides, and then this is 6 inches. So if you're careful in positioning, you can get 2 bows out here, but you can't cut it at 3 because there's a bit of overlap here. So you can just squeeze that on there if you're making more than one. All right, I think I've die cut everything that I need. I'm gonna just move my dies out of the way so that I don't lose them. Move these pieces out of the way. All right, let's scoot everything back in to my work surface here. Okay, so we're gonna do some stamping now on these tags. I like this little tag has some little stitching around it, and this one has some little dots on it. So for one of the tags, I'm going to stamp thanks right kind of in the center. And then for the other tag, this is the long skinny tab. And these words are coming right out of the Happier Than Happy bundle, so you don't need an extra word bundle. And there's welcome. Okay, and then let's finish off this one first. So we'll need these pieces here. All right, so we're gonna take this tree right here, and we're going to glue it kind of as background. Oh, and the color of this tree is Mossy Meadow. It's just another green, or since we're just using a little bit of Mossy Meadow, and say you just wanted to buy the old olive cardstock, take your old olive cardstock, cut the tree, and then color, like use a sponge dauber and the old olive ink pad. You see how this is old olive on old olive? You could make this tree look a little darker, just so it pops out a little bit from the background. If you just did an old olive tree, it's gonna blend too much, and the Mossy Meadow just gives it a little bit more color. Mossy Meadow is a good color, but if that's the only thing you're going to use the Mossy Meadow cardstock for, then you could fudge a little bit. There's usually little different ways to fudge things. Okay, and so I'm just adding my little die cuts on here with a little bit of Tombow. The owl is just so cute. Let's tilt him, her, the right way. And then we're going to take some of this Old Olive and Sahara Sand twill ribbon. This one's just Old Olive. And I'm just going to cut myself a length of it, kind of measuring as I go. And we'll just give this a little, and I'm going to use my tweezers out of my embossing pack. These are locking tweezers, and this will allow you to clamp down on that knot so you can tie that bow without having someone's finger in the way. And then we'll just cut this down just a bit. All right, put that back. Okay, and then for this little guy, so when you stick something inside of here, it's going to bow out a little bit. You see? It bows out. So this little tag is going to have to really, it's going to have to go over that surface a lot. So if you just give it a little curl, stick your treat inside there. It's not as bad near the bottom, but at the top there's a lot more of bowing out, because here it kind of tapers near the bottom. So the owl and the this trunk aren't as affected, but this really is. So I'm just gonna take that and I'll put some mini dimensionals on here. I'm gonna put one near the top and the bottom, and let's just do this. And remove these little backings. Okay. So then we'll just add this on here. Scoot this down just a little bit. Okay, and then we'll put this right on here. Like that. And there's our little cute little treat holder. So, you know, these just are really nice. You could put these in a basket. And so this one right here, this one's really easy to finish off. So let's take this and make our bow. So I'll use my bone folder and just curl the fat part right here, because that's what's gonna kind of curve around. So if you just take your bone folder and just give it a little curl, it's gonna help it come around. You could do either side, but I'm gonna do, I want that white side that matches my side seams right here. I just put a little dot of glue in the center because just that little rectangle near the end is what's going to lap, and it's going to give you that little loop right there. And then I'll put another little dot right there and overlap. Okay. All right. So that little center doesn't look like much of a center. So what you can do is, to create kind of a center, you can take a little piece of cardstock. This is a thin strip of cardstock. It measures 1/4 inch wide. And I'll just take my paper trimmer and I'll line this up at the 1/4 inch mark, and then I'll just cut off a little teeny tiny square. But you kind of need a longer piece to cut off of. So just, you know, cut yourself a narrow strip of 1/4 inch, and then you can cut off a 1/4 inch square off of that. Okay, so then I'm just going to put another dot of glue in the center and add that. You could also use an embellishment in the center, like a little gem or something like that. But that kind of creates your little bow. Okay, so now let's take all of these pieces and put them together. You can put this on with dimensionals or with glue, however you want. And this is just about the right size for your bear, because this is 3 inches and the bear is just under 3 inches. So there's the bear, he's waving hi. He's saying welcome. I'll put some Tombow on here, and then I'll just add this. Just figure out kind of where you want it. That's good. I did stamp the welcome a little bit closer to the end because I knew I was going to come in here and put this bow on here. You can also use a mini dimensional if you want to add this bow on here. But since it's already a little bulky, I'm just going to use a little tiny dot of glue. Okay, so there it is. And then you can take your little s'more package and put it in there. And you can just tuck the ends down in there. And then you've got a little welcome s'more and some Hershey's treats. And so they're just kind of cute. I really wanted to make some packaging for the s'mores because they were, just gonna grab for my photo this morning. You get, these are the 4.5 ounce Hershey's milk chocolate bars. And this one is the Russell Stover s'mores. Look for the link for the s'mores at the bottom after all of the Stampin' Up! Supplies down at the bottom. I didn't link to the Hershey's bars. I think you can find these all over the place. They're fairly easy to find no matter where you go. So those are the two different sizes, and just remember, you can alter this, right? There's other treats that are like s'mores that are bulky. Maybe they're not this wide, maybe they're thinner, or maybe they're wider, and you can alter this, and that way you get the cute little the scallops, right? And you've got the little scallop edge that's already built in, so you don't really have to worry about it. A few quick snips. You could have cut off the tabs as well with scissors if you wanted to, if you didn't want to use a paper trimmer. But look how cute these all are. They're so sweet. Just love them. I really think that bringing back over this die set here, I've got different things stuck to it, but this die set here, very easy to do Halloween treats. If you're going to just do these little pockets, it's so quick to make them. I will be making, I'll make up some Halloween ones down the road when we get a little closer, so you can see what a Halloween one would look like. This owl would be cute for Halloween too, right? If you had a little Halloween greeting on here, you could do little owl ones for Halloween. But I have another bundle a Halloween bundle, and I'll make some with these. They're just a very nice little pocket, and I'll try and find, when it gets closer to Halloween, I'll try and find some Halloween candy that will fit in these pockets to share with you as well. But if all else fails, these little Hershey's bars are the perfect size. Okay, I'm coming back over to you guys. I hope you enjoyed those two different sizes, and as I said, I will have a project sheet for you, and that will be mailed out tomorrow. I'll get it done this afternoon so that you guys can have it. They're not terribly hard projects, but then down the road, you want to be able to remember, oh, what's that project that Brenda did? I want to do it for Halloween. And then you have the project sheet right there, and you don't have to go find it, and it's there for you for reference. Put it in a binder, put it in a file folder on your computers so you know how to access it again. It's just a nice little reference point. All right, I want to tell you, if you spend $50 with me this month using this host code right here, I'm going to make that go away. Use this host code, and then you're going to get the Fun Flower Resin Shapes. You just need to make sure your order is over $50 or over before shipping and tax, and I will send those out in August. I am getting ready to send out my gifts. If you ordered from me in June, I have the thank you cards ready now, and I am getting ready to send out the gift from last month. It's always I had my BOGO sale too last month, so I had like a lot more orders than I normally do. So I'm getting caught up, so I'm trying to get them in the mail by tomorrow. If not, the latest will be Monday. Okay, let me get rid of that, and let me get rid of that. And if you spend at least $15 with me, you'll also get one of my free with purchase tutorials. That's for any size order over 15. And I will send you the link after you've ordered to choose one of those tutorials. Okay. All right, let's have a little chat with all of you and find out how everyone's doing today. Hello, Verblue from Tennessee and Marty from Pittsburgh. Sounds like everyone's having a nice day. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Janine. Good morning, Linda from Connecticut. And with Inked Fingers from Utah. And with Inked Fingers said, so owl-dorable. I love that. That's punny. Oh, Janine says she likes my new glasses. Well, funny thing about my glasses, you're very observant, but I use silhouette glasses because I wear glasses from morning to night, and I want the frameless ones. They're super expensive, but I only get glass. I don't get new glasses every year. Like usually it's like 3 years in between, sometimes even longer. Well, these are actually my old frames because they forgot to order my new frames, and the way it works is like I have a certain eyeglass shape that I like, but Silhouette doesn't like promote that like shape anymore. So they use my old lenses to as a template to create the new glasses. Well, so they had cut the new glass shape and added them to my old frames, and I'm like looking at them and thinking, what, like those aren't the ones that I ordered. And just like, oh, I'm so sorry, we forgot to order your new frames. So I have new lenses on my old frames, and these are frames from probably 10 years ago, so they're not even my most recent ones because I was wearing those and they didn't build them on those ones. So yes, everything old is new again, and I will have new ones in a few weeks once they get that all settled. So I'm becoming very familiar with my eyeglass center. But you know what? She was like very apologetic, and I'm just like, you know what? It's okay. Life happens, right? Let's not get all upset at people. You know, living life means that sometimes you're gonna have to wait for things, right? There are worse things in the world. I'm trying to learn to be more patient, and I'm not always more patient with the little things, but I do try and be patient with people that don't know me too well because they don't know who I am. I don't want to explode at someone. So we will get our glasses in about 2 weeks and all will be well. Everything is good. And in the meantime, I get to wear my old frames, which I actually really like because silhouettes are so small anyway, you can barely tell the difference. Okay, that's a big explanation for my new old glasses. Good morning, Yasmin. Hello, I'm glad you're here all the way from Puerto Rico. Good morning, Nancy. Nancy says she always feels cold as well and carry a sweater or a light jacket. I know. You know, the worst thing I think for me is walking into the grocery store in summer. I remember when we first moved here, we had to stop off at the little local Star Market to get some groceries, and I left my jacket in the car. I nearly froze to death in the store here. It was August. I was so cold. It's not a good feeling. All right. Good morning, Denise from South Dakota. Good morning, Birgit. You're not too late. I'm glad you're here. Denise likes the treat holder. Thank you. Birgit loves the designer paper. I do too. And I love it when we have a bundle that has coordination. It's awesome. And Verblue says, these boxes are so cute. I can see the flat box used as a gift card holder. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, it is. It is. And I think it's just wide enough. I'm going to go grab some gift cards I have, if I can find them. Let's grab them. Aha. Okay, I have things for display purposes all the time, you know, that I kind of keep around so I can kind of, so these are old, like this is like an iTunes. Okay, so look at that. that fits in very nicely. So a gift card holder. I'm going to measure my gift card. So this one is 2 1/8 by 3 3/8. So 3 3/8 by 2 1/8. Since this is 2 3/8 inches across, you probably wouldn't want to go wider than 2.5 because it wouldn't quite fit in, because that's the actual size of the box. It needs to be a little bit inside that. So yeah, that's a good suggestion. I love that. We'll have to use that for Christmas. Because that is a really popular time to give gift cards. Very good point. Good morning, Karen from sunny New Jersey. No worries about being late. There's no late here. I'm happy you're here. Good morning, Ray. Hello from Tennessee. Karen loves how the locking tweezers act as like your third hand. Yes, they're great. Great thing for tying bows. Great thing for wrapping gifts at Christmas time. Yes, awesome. Janine says she loves it. Birgit says that she might need that bundle too. And she loves my project. And I just want to point out again how nice it is not to have to color, because the stamp has some texture on it and shading. You can kind of see where the ink has kind of hit it darker. It has natural shading built into the stamp, so you don't, it's like it's colored for you. So I really like that, and it is a very whimsical set, right? But I love whimsy. Whimsy's awesome. There's a place for whimsy. We're sometimes we're too serious in life, so I love having a fun image to look at. And we as adults, we need to liven up a little bit too sometimes, so it's a good thing. With ink fingers, put the little heart emoji with the little bear emoji. So cute. Karen says it's so adorable, and she needs to make them, and she's going to add the dies to your want list. Well, that's good. And I really think that if you get the mini pocket envelope dies, even if you didn't like the bundle I used with them today, use your own bundle. You could, do a nice nature packaging with some ribbon and some leaves and a flower or some acorns or something. I mean, it can just be used in so many different ways. I think it's going to be very popular when we get closer to gift giving season. Marty asked a good question. Marty, you have a good questions. What is the Y-shaped die? You have it next to the bow. Okay, before I leave real quick, I've got stuff sitting out here. So what is that Y shape? So I actually did a little something this morning. So I wrapped that Y shape around here. I wrapped it like 1, 2, and then on the back side, and it creates, it's like, it can be like ribbon ends. You could, if you cut it, you could also kind of tuck it under there, and they could be like more little ribbon ends, or you can have them coming down here and be on the bottom, or it can be longer. So you can play around with that. I'm not sure if there's another use for it. I'm trying to think in the annual catalog. So, sometimes what I do is I go into the annual catalog, and I don't know if they have any pictures, but I use my catalog a lot. So I'm going to go to, here we go. The mini pocket envelope dies are listed in the catalog on page 172. And then usually it will tell you, see these dies in use on page 27, or it will tell you what page they're on. So on page 27, so I go and look and see if it will give me any information on 27. Okay, so right here. So no, they're not using, it doesn't look like they've used the bow on there, but there's another little example right there with, decorating it up as a little floral. So I don't know, that's what I envision it as. It's like the little pieces that come down off of there. Or if you cut it, you could, tuck it behind, and they could be like longer pieces on either side of there. So that's what I would use it for. We might find different uses for it down the road. Sometimes us demonstrators, we find lots of uses for things that the artists never even thought of before. So that's the cool thing about having so many demonstrators in the world making projects with our products, so that you get to see how you can use things multiple different ways. All right, guys. Well, I'm so glad that you joined me this morning. It's so awesome to have you here. And I go live every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Tuesday, I go live at 10 a.m. Eastern on my Facebook page. So Tuesdays is on my Facebook page, and Fridays I always go live on my YouTube page. And so cards on Tuesdays, 3Ds are fancy folds on Fridays. So I hope you will join me live at some point. And if not, watch the replay, and you can leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear your questions and hear what you have to say about my projects. And don't forget to like my video, and if you're not already a subscriber, go in and subscribe. On YouTube, I have this little picture down at the bottom. I think I'm in a pink shirt. If you click on that, that will take you to my subscribe page, where you can subscribe and make sure you get go to the little bell so you can get notifications when I go live. All right, have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, everyone.